All right, check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, what's up, YouTube? So, I wasn't gonna do a video on this at first, but I decided I would go right ahead and do it anyway. This story about the Colorado man arrested in Utah after allegedly threatening to kill girls at a women's march. I just thought it was really interesting. This guy here, this is 27-year-old Christopher Cleary, a 27-year-old man who described himself as quote unquote never have had a girlfriend, and number two, he's still a virgin. And he was so frustrated by that aspect of his life that he posted a rant on Facebook the other week that he wanted to quote unquote kill as many girls as he see as a reaction against his status as being a 27-year-old virgin who had never had a girlfriend. And I read the story and I listened to a lot of videos regarding it. Um, this guy is from Colorado, as I stated, but he was arrested in Provo, Utah. I think the city was called Provo, Utah, um, at a McDonald's of all places. He was at McDonald's posting a video to his YouTube page when the feds, the FBI, caught up with him and lassoed his behind and locked him up. And to make a long story short, this guy was 27 years old, says he's never had a girlfriend, says he's still a virgin, and among other things, and as you see right here, he's talking about, oh, all I wanted was a girlfriend, not 1,000, not a bunch of hoes, not money, none of that. All I wanted was to be loved, yet no one cares about me, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. Woo woo woo. Okay. And he posted stuff on Facebook, things of this nature, such as, wait a minute, let me put this on here. I'm 27 years old. I've never had a girlfriend before, and I'm still a virgin. This is why I'm planning on shooting up a public place soon and being the next mass shooter because I'm ready to die, and all the girls that turn me down is going to make it right by killing as many girls as I see. And then right here he says, there's nothing more dangerous than a man ready to die. Blah blah blah. Woo woo. Okay. So, this guy's having a temper tantrum of epic proportions because he can't get laid, basically. Now, that's this guy. And the reason why the feds caught up with him, other than people reporting his ass, was because he had posted this stuff on Facebook, and he went to Utah. And Utah, it just so happened, was holding some sort of women's march at the time that this story broke. And you know, it just goes to show you how this guy, being weak-minded and being of a thought that he couldn't do any better, to go to Utah and then have the federals track you and not be aware of it. He just goofy, man. I mean, just goofy. Look at his face. In my honest estimation, This guy is not capable of harming too many people. All right, he's just not. Now, interestingly enough, he was already on probation for stalking, as it was. He was. I'll say that. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think he was going to harm anyone. Not in my estimation. Not in my estimation. I believe that he was just a young knucklehead, frustrated because he can't get laid, and he wanted to uh, cry out for help, basically. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to make him out to be a sympathetic figure, but I'm just saying that this guy was so frustrated, so disillusioned by his situation that he had to act out on social media. That's what I think was going on here. Now, when I heard the story, it got me to thinking, and this is the reason why I'm bringing this up. It got me thinking about a story that I saw, a video that I saw a couple of years ago. See, about something that they had in nature on one of those nature shows. You see this guy here? This is a, this is what you call a pufferfish. You know, if you read the scriptures, you know that um, the scriptures tell you to look at nature because nature can teach you something. And in the book of Proverbs, I think there was a verse that says something about look to the ant, you sluggard, you sluggard, you sluggard. That's an old antiquated word that's talking about lazy people. And the idea was to look at ants because ants can teach you a lot about how to get your house in order financially. You know, see, ants are about that hustle. See, ants hustle because they know they have a short time between summer and winter. You see, ants can't come out and store up their houses in the wintertime. They have to make their money during the summer. And what we have here with this little pufferfish is similar in terms of it can teach us humans a lesson about what it means to be able to mate and date and acquire a mate. Now, I want you to see this here. You see this circle here? This was created by this guy, pufferfish, male pufferfish. This is created by a pufferfish. A pufferfish is about 5 inches long in length. And he creates this whole thing. I forgot how many diameters and inches this thing is actually. But the pufferfish creates this elaborate circle as a means to attract the female pufferfish to get curious enough to want to come down here and check this out and see what it is so that he can have the opportunity to somehow persuade her to mate with him. Okay? That's what it's for. A pufferfish. This guy right here. Now, the scientific community did not know that these things existed, these little circles here. They didn't know these things existed until just a few short years ago, maybe in the last 20 years or so. They didn't know. The scientific community didn't know. But the pufferfish does this, the male pufferfish does this in order to attract the female pufferfish. This guy right here. He makes this in order to attract the female. Why does he do it? And how does he do it? I mean, he could spend up to a week, 24 hours a day, for 7 days to make this thing, you know. Now look at this guy. Here's the lesson at hand. Look at this guy. A puffer fish. Now, you look at him, he got look like he got a smile on his face right there. It's like he's smiling, because he know how to run game, and his brain is no bigger. His brain up in here, no bigger than the size of a peanut, surely. But yet, in order to attract a mate, he had the wherewithal to create something like this. Okay, so that begs the question: how could a being, a creature, a species like this guy here have the wherewithal to be able to come up with something like this through instinct? Because he never learned, nobody taught him how to do this. He didn't go to a school to learn this. There's no pufferfish school for this. There's no pufferfish university to learn this, to be able to create this, to attract a mate. This guy here. How is it this little creature has enough sense to create this to attract a mate, but this guy here, a freaking human being, an allegedly evolved human being, did not have the wherewithal to attract girls, did not have the creativity and the know-how to attract girls, did not have the savvy to attract girls like this fella here, this little itty bitty sea creature. But this guy here, instead of learning how to attract girls, he gets on Facebook talking about he wanted to kill as many girls as I see because he can't get laid. He can't get nobody that wants to give him the punani. How how is this even feasible? Okay, here you got look at this. Look at this. This is a fish. This is a fish with a little brain up in here. A brain no bigger than a peanut. Okay, then here you got a dude, a human being, supposed to be the apex alpha predator or a descendant of such, supposed to be made in the image and likeness of God, and he can't figure out how to get nobody to be interested in him. But yet you got this fella here created this to attract the female pufferfish, to give him an opportunity so that he can get laid and spread his sperm cells and therefore reproducing so he can make another one that looks like this. How does this even happen? This guy, now, this guy right here, this is a man, 27 years old, and he don't have the wherewithal to be able to attract a woman, but this little fish can do it. Come on, man, something crazy, something ain't right. This guy goes on social media threatening, and not only that, he was At the time that he was arrested, he was already on probation for stalking some other women who who didn't want to mess with him. You know, it's somewhere down here. He was already on probation, and then he gets on Facebook ranting and raving, talking about these bitches and these hoes and da da da. I'm gonna kill them all, and I'm be. He said he was gonna be the next great mass shooter. He gonna go to jail over. Okay, he gonna go to jail because he can't get laid. But meanwhile, this little fella right here, this little fella got more game than half the dudes that's out in the street right now. This guy right here, he got more game than half the dudes that's at the bar right now. I mean, you can tell you can tell he legit. Look at that mouth. Look at that mouth. He got a little smile right there. You know, he got the eyes and whatever. And he's like, you know, I ain't worried about these hoes. You know, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And this is what he did. A little guy like that. No training, no teaching, but he creates it. And he uses it to attract a female. Now, interestingly, this is a screen grab of the video that I saw, and some of the people in the comments section said, well, what happened? Did he get the girl? Did he get the girl? Huh? Did he get her?" And I don't know. You know, the tape didn't show whether or not he actually got her. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I haven't heard anything about there being pufferfish as an endangered species. Okay, so evidently the pufferfish are getting along just fine. You know, they are reproducing and recreating amongst their own species. So I will say yes, this here, this is a success. It's got to be. It's a success, you know. The pufferfish is not an endangered species, so I think they're doing all right. Okay. Now, but this dude right here, he can't attract women. No game. No game. Ain't got no game. Can't attract women. Can't get laid. And gets so frustrated and angry. He goes out on Facebook posting threats. And it makes it sound like somebody owes him something. And then the feds track his ass down. And now he locked up. Now he locked up. He locked up and got to deal with them charges. You know, all he has to do is learn a little bit about social dynamics, learn how to talk to people. You know, don't take yourself so seriously. I mean, good grief. We all go through this as men. You know, we all get rejected. Eight, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get rejected. You just are. But you ain't got to snap off and pop off and then get into a situation where you going to get locked up and now you're going to be on the news with your mug shot on screen looking looking goofy. Look at him. Looking goofy. You know what I'm saying? There he is. You know. And now, meanwhile, my man right here, you know, he living his life like it's golden. Um, got a little smile on his face right there. He living a good life. He ain't worried about you. He ain't worried about you niggas. He living his best life. He ain't worried about y'all. Cause you know, he got game. Game right here. Represented by this here little crop circle. He got the females coming at him, and as a result, he spit his little pufferfish game, and then they mate, and then he spread his sperm cells over the eggs and stuff to get fertilized, and then they make another guy that looks just like him, you know, right there. That's so funny. I mean, it's so interesting. Isn't it crazy how nature, and the participants in nature have more sense than the human beings? This guy right here, he got more game, more sense, more of what's going on than this guy right here. And this guy's supposed to be the result of millions and millions of years of so-called evolution. Yeah, whatever. This guy right here, he's swimming around free. But this guy here, a human a human being, the apex predator, the apex alpha or whatever, he locked up. He locked up, still ain't got laid, still ain't got no girlfriend. But this right here, this fella, look at it. He could reproduce and get laid, everything. You could tell he is. Look at that smile. Look at the smile. He happy. He doing his thing, man. It's all good. It's all good in the pufferfish neighborhood. Sure is. He alright. So it's crazy. It's crazy. But you can learn a lot from nature. You can learn a lot from nature. We as human beings have yet to scratch the surface of the things we can learn from nature. And tonight, I just want to point that out through this video. Um, I guess the moral of the story is, if you're a young man out there and you're trying to learn how to talk to these women, how to deal with these females, then my suggestion to you is, don't be like this guy. No game, no understanding. Instead, be like this guy, little pufferfish, who never read a book on seduction, never read any blogs on being a pickup artist on the internet. He just instinctually had some game and knew how to produce this right here, this work of art, all the way down at the bed of the ocean, and use it to pull in and attract the females. And like I said, even though they don't have it on camera where he actually won over the female, you can tell some went right. Because last I heard, ain't no pufferfish in danger of being extinct. So, shout out to my man, the pufferfish. Game too tight. He gonna be alright. And as for my man, Christopher Cleary, Christopher Cleary, man, I feel for you, dog. You need to take your lessons from this guy right here, the pufferfish. Yeah, and that's the only way you're gonna change your situation. It's not as hard as it seems, bro. Because if a pufferfish can do it, then surely you can do it too. And that's a message for all y'all. Yep. Alright, that's it for now. Y'all be cool.